Let me begin with a simple question. Have you ever followed a rule without knowing why it exists? Maybe you stop at a red light at midnight. Even when the road is empty, you follow the rule, not because of the situation, but because of something deeper. Now, imagine a courtroom. A judge delivers a 100-page judgment. Lawyers read it, scholars debate it, students memorize it. But here is the twist. Not everything in that judgment is law. Only a small, powerful core becomes binding. That core is called ratio decidendi. Today, I want to take you into the heart of judicial thinking to uncover the invincible thread that holds the real system together. What is ratio decidendi? The term comes from Latin. Ratio means reason, decidendi means for deciding. So it literally means the reason for the decision. But in law, it means something much more profound. It is the legal principle upon which a case is decided and which binds future cases. Why does it matter? Let's imagine chaos for a moment. Every judge decides every case differently based on personal views, mood, or public pressure. No consistency, no predictability, no fairness. That's where ratio decidendi steps in. It ensures consistency in judgments, predictability in law, equality before law. It transforms individual decisions into a system of justice. Consider this: a court decides that a check issued towards a legally enforceable debt must be honored. That principle becomes the ratio decidendi. Now, in thousands of future check bound cases, courts don't start from zero. They rely on that principle. The facts may differ, the arguments may evolve, but the core reason remains binding. Here is where it gets interesting. A judgment contains many things: facts, arguments, observations, comments, historical discussions, but not all of these are law. There is another term, obiter dicta, things said by the way. These may be insightful, even brilliant, but they are not binding. So, the real challenge is this: how do we find the ratio decidendi hidden inside a long judgment? The art of finding ratio. This is where law becomes almost like detective work. Legal scholars have debated this for decades. Even great jurists have disagreed. One famous insight from Arthur L. Goodhart helps us. He said, "The ratio is not what the judge says, but what the case decides on its material facts." Let me simplify that. To find the ratio, ask what are the key facts of the case, what issue did the court decide, what principles were necessary to reach that decision. Remove anything unnecessary. What remains? That is your ratio decidendi. Here is something that may surprise you. A judgment may contain flawed reasoning. It may even have incorrect logic in parts, but still it remains binding. Why? Because what binds is not the entire judgment, it is the ratio decidendi. This idea echoes through legal thought from Halsbury to modern courts. The law respects decisions, not perfection. Why this matters beyond law? You might be wondering, why should someone outside the legal profession care? Because ratio decidendi teaches us a powerful life principle. Distinguish between what is essential and what is incidental. In a world full of noise, opinions are everywhere, information is endless, arguments are loud, but truth often lies in a single underlying principle, a broader reflection. Think about leadership, think about policy making, think about personal decisions. The ability to identify the core reason behind outcomes is what separates clarity from confusion. That is what judges do, and that is what we can learn. Let me leave you with this thought. Every judgment tells a story, but only a part of that story becomes law. Hidden within pages of words lies a single idea powerful enough to guide generations. That idea is ratio decidendi, the reason that decides, the principle that endures. And perhaps in our own lives, if we learn to identify the ratio behind our choices, we may not just make decisions, we may start making better ones. Thank you.